Lanyard Program. The lanyards are visual cues for airport workers to immediately identify passengers who might need additional assistance. NAD is teaming up with the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities and key stakeholders at LPIA to launch the internationally recognized initiative. We're joining more than 180 airports and 26 countries already in the program. NAD is the first organization in the Bahamas to recognize the Sunflower Initiative. It's a way to show our continued commitment to making LPIA a safe, welcoming, and inclusive airport for all. Passengers needing to secure a free sunflower lanyard can email sunflower@nas.bs or call 1242-397-8600. For more information, visit www.nassauLPIA.com.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles.
And I'm Jay Philippe.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Here's a live look at the Bahamas Tonight, coming your way next.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
First, at 11, modernizing the financial services framework in the country. Bills debated in the lower chamber of the House of Assembly, with the Prime Minister explaining how these legislative efforts will serve the Bahamian people. Also, a new phase of the National Health Insurance Program in the pipeline. Tonight, we explore the potential next phase of this critical health system that provides primary care. And a new game show launched by the Ministry of Education featuring social studies. We'll tell you about the ultimate showdown of smarts and style. The Bahamas Tonight at 11 starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Royson Jones, and this is the Bahamas Tonight at 11. Welcome to the broadcast. House members debated a compendium of financial services bills aimed at modernizing the financial services framework in the country while ensuring compliance with international standards and higher standards of transparency in the sector. Fern Carey leads us off tonight at 11.
In opening debate on the financial services bills in Parliament Wednesday, Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Philip Davis, noted that the proposed legislation will ensure that the Bahamas maintains its competitive edge in a rapidly evolving global financial services sector. He then provided more clarity on the intent of a bill for an act to amend the Executive Entities Act and a bill for an act to amend the Banks and Trust Companies Regulation Act.
These bills represent our ongoing commitment to excellence in regulating our financial services sector by addressing a specific gap in our current framework. Executive entities, as established under the Executive Entities Act of 2011, have become an important tool in our wealth management arsenal. They allow for specialized structures that can perform executive functions such as trustee duties and asset management, providing...
The proposed legislation will also deepen oversight in the sector.
The Executive Entities Amendment Bill makes a simple but important change to Section 13 of the Principal Act, ensuring that all executive entities fall under appropriate regulatory oversight, where before it only applied to licensed agents. Making the small change has significant implications for strengthening our regulatory framework, as the central bank will now have direct oversight over these entities. The other bill before us, the Banks and Trust Companies Regulations Amendment Bill, this bill formally defines the concept of a qualified executive entity, or QEE, which is an executive entity that is registered under the Executive Entities Act and meets specific criteria regarding its functions and structure.
Appropriate fees will be applied, while the legislation will provide for the Central Bank of the Bahamas to have direct regulatory oversight.
This change reinforces the Bahamas' commitment to preventing money laundering, combating terrorism financing, and upholding the highest standards of financial integrity.
Prime Minister Davis noted that the bills highlight the Bahamas' willingness to meet international compliance standards while agitating for those standards to evolve in a fair and balanced way in the global community. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
Thank you, Fern. Meantime, a big revenue earner is looking to pull in all the dollars it's owed as the government gets down to crafting a new fiscal plan for the next 12 months. Altavis Munning tells us what measures the Department of Inland Revenue is using to achieve its over $1 billion goal.
That value-added tax you reflected on your receipt is really one of the country's big money earners.
The Department of Inland Revenue has a forecast expected revenue collections of about $1.6 billion this year. In total revenue. And out of that 1.6, about 1 billion of that will be from value-added tax.
Still, believe it or not, there are many local businesses that are not value-added tax compliant. Basically, they're not paying their fair share to the government, and that's where the Department of Inland Revenue comes in. The financial watchdog monitors those VAT receipts and levies penalties through its compliance measures wherever necessary. The department's acting controller, Shonda Strawn, says by law the agency even appeals to banks for assistance.
If you owe value-added tax, really, we can section the bank. We call it sectioning the bank, but we can deem the bank to be an agent to send us the funds that you have forgotten to send to us.
Have they done that?
Really? Yes, of course. We've done that many times.
The DIR has even shored up compliance measures digitally.
Let's say you're a contractor and you're saying to us, well, you know, I earned less than $100,000, but yet we see where the Treasury has paid you $200,000 and we see where the hospital has paid you.
Wow.
And so we have now the ability, we have developed systems where we do analysis, computerized analysis to make it easier for us, meaning manpower-wise.
I was about to say.
Right, because it really does require a great amount of staff, right?
The Department of Inland Revenue encourages consumers to do their due diligence and find out if the business they patronize is value-added tax compliant. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altavis Munnings.
The National Health Insurance Program is in for a makeover later this year as the government introduces legislation it says will propel the program towards a new phase. Our Coverell Pyfram reports on what this means for services and patients.
At a cost of more than $46 million a year and more than 160,000 members enrolled, the NHI program, first introduced back in 2016, has grown. But according to Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville, this growth still lags behind demand. Therefore, new legislation, he argues, is necessary.
This new bill that I'm going to lay, we will open the door, the next steps, because from the initial stages of NHI that was conceived in 2016, a lot of things have been changed, and this new bill is absolutely necessary. We could not amend the old bill. We had to repeal and replace it.
The next phase of the program, Dr. Darville says, includes catastrophic health insurance and providing essential medication for patients suffering with chronic non-communicable diseases. Crucial to keeping the country's healthcare system running effectively and efficiently is reducing high cost. The health minister says cost reduction starts with prevention and keeping would-be patients away from the hospital.
In the new bill, we will be able to do more diagnostic services. We will add additional services for breast screening, colon rectal screening. We will be able now to do more prostate screening, all in the attempt to pick diseases up in the early stages, and for NHI to have the means and the wherewithal to be able to allow individuals registered with NHI to access crucial medicines to keep these patients out of hospital.
As the new NHI program expects to expand services, its infrastructure must adapt to meet its new objectives, particularly as it relates to staffing. Dr. Darville says steps are already in place to fill existing gaps.
As we are on a crusade to improve infrastructural programs in the country and development in healthcare, we must never leave behind manpower resources, and we are definitely in the process of filling those gaps.
And the health minister insists the priority of this NHI program remains ensuring that every Bahamian has health care coverage. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Pyfrom.
In related news, on Monday, we heard from nursing graduates as they took action over not being given formal appointments due to regularization processes being stalled. The frustrated nurses claim this setback has created hardships and uncertainties for them, as the incompleted process meant the relevant nurses, some of whom graduated in 2023, weren't receiving salaries and have been unable to carry out routine financial transactions. The nurses have pointed the finger at the Public Service Commission and the Ministry of National Security. Agencies, they argue, both have been dragging their feet. Furthermore, they call it shameful that nurses brought in from Ghana were being processed while local nurses were still on the sidelines waiting. While Labor and Public Service Minister Pia Glover-Roll addressed the issue today, contending that there really was no need for Monday's demonstration.
There is a different process between what happens for our local nurses and our contracted nurses. They are two separate processes, and they're handled in two separate ways. Yes, the commission is also involved, but there was a facilitation of the process for the local nurses that has begun and that is almost at completion.
Over on the national security side, Minister Wayne Monroe also responding to the nurses' concerns on vetting. He explained this process is done by the police force's security and intelligence branch, and where there are complaints about delays, those should be brought to his attention. But he too reminds that there is a process.
When people allege that the vetting is delayed, I ask them to send me the names. Sometimes SIB discovers that they have not received any request for the vetting of that person. Sometimes they discover that they have received the vetting and they've sent it on to the public service. So if somebody is saying there's outstanding vettings by the Security and Intelligence Branch of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, I would invite them to send me the names so that I can follow up.
The parliamentary service today marking a significant milestone in the House of Assembly. For the first time, transcripts from the lower and upper chambers will be available in a more timely manner. House Speaker, the Honourable Patricia DeVos, says the move is in line with the Parliamentary Service Act passed back in 2023.
Today, we are going to share transcripts of the last 3 meetings of this House. Please be advised that we will be transitioning to a paperless system, so in the future, transcripts will be accessible to members online. Please join me in offering congratulations to the staff of the Parliamentary Service and specifically the staff of the Hansard Department for this major achievement.
Still to come, Bahamas Air's manager is getting a new union contract. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight at 11. More news in just a moment.
Step into a life of luxury and convenience with the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card. From earning premium cashback rewards on every dollar spent to enjoying comprehensive travel insurance, shop with confidence, knowing your purchases are protected. Our Platinum Concierge service turns your requests into reality, wherever life takes you. Let the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card be your passport to exceptional experiences. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Join us on Social Mania, a new and dynamic game show based on the Ministry of Education's primary and junior high school social studies curriculum. Students from schools across the Bahamas go head-to-head as their knowledge of social studies is challenged. In this episode, Gambier Primary battles with Sadie Curtis Primary School. Which school will emerge as winner? To find out, join us as these two schools engage in intense competition. Don't miss it.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
Bahamas Air and the Public Managers Union signing a new contract at the Office of the Prime Minister this morning. The airline's managing director, Tracy Cooper, says he's happy to know the company is going into the renewal with a fairly clean slate following last December's sick-out that forced airline executives to secure an interim injunction ordering staffers back to work.
It's always good when the airline can come to an agreement with our union partners and by extension our staff. We were able to negotiate in good faith and be able to bring this thing to a close in a reasonable period of time. I'd like to thank you there for President Munnings, us to you and your team and negotiating in good faith.
Public Managers Union President Leslie Munnings making a promise to back Bahamas Air and bring even more change over the next 5 years.
We are going to communicate that the contract is signed and what are some of the specifics of the contract. That means that our members need to know that there's increased opportunities for education. The union will, over the next several months, be working with HR to perhaps fine-tune a performance appraisal system. We're going to be working with, again, HR in reviewing their cell phone mobile plan because a number of our members must be available at all hours and in unusual circumstances.
The Ministry of Education is flipping the script with their new social studies game show called Ed Social Mania. It's a high-energy game show where books meet buzz and classrooms across the Bahamas clash in the ultimate showdown of smarts and style. Assistant Director of Education, Lenise Hart, shares more about the new game show.
Ed Social Mania was inspired due to a lot of areas having separate competition, primary to junior high school. And so we wanted to bring it under one, we call it one hemisphere, one umbrella, so that we can have more coherence with the curriculum. And therefore, we married it under one heading, Ed Social Media. And hence we have the new format of the various competitions.
The game show features a Jeopardy-style format where 3 students from each participating school compete, answering questions drawn directly from the Department of Education's Social Studies curriculum. Excited about this new venture is the Minister of Education herself, the Honorable Gladys Hannah Martin.
13 episodes are featured in this first season, in which we will see 72 talented students representing schools from New Providence and the Family Islands. And they battled it out in friendly but fierce competition.
Downtown Nassau came alive yesterday as the Bahamas celebrated International Dance Day and the 40th anniversary of liturgical dance in the nation. School students across New Providence showcased their talents in a spirited parade that culminated in a powerful performance in Parliament Square.
We're celebrating International Dance Day. It's celebrated all over the world as we speak and as we're here. Some celebrated last night because of the different time zone. But in the Bahamas, I'm celebrating 40 years of liturgical dance in our country on this International Dance Day. And so that's why you see hundreds of children from our private school and our government schools, communities and dance groups celebrating with us because they know what time of the day it is. It's International Dance Day.
President of the CID Nassau section of the World Dance Council and a pioneer in the Bahamian liturgical dance movement, Dr. Ann Higgins, led the celebrations. She emphasized the significance of preserving dance traditions within schools, churches, and extracurricular programs.
We would like to see more support behind dance schools, dance community group. Children in the schools are being developed from a child. I'm talking about you have to develop them from a child. 40 years ago, liturgical dance was birthed. And now we have children's children dancing on this parade today. Children have taught, and which means that they are continuing their trend.
Amajal Knowles has a look at what's coming up in sports tonight. Amajal?
Carifta athletes honored for their stellar performances in Trinidad and Tobago. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community, also help with the education of our kids in this community, and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Stripe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
If you've got termites and need to get rid of them fast, trust Rentokil Initial. With over 60 years experience in the Bahamas, the global brand, training, and expertise can't be beat. Only Rentokil Initial gives you a 3-year warranty and payment plan options on termite fumigation. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name, Rentokil Initial.
Congratulations to the Bahamian Carifta track and field and swim teams from the sponsors of the ZNS Radio and TV Carifta Update.
Welcome to your Wednesday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports after their stellar performance in Trinidad and Tobago this past Easter weekend. Bahamas' Carifta track and swimming teams honored for their record-breaking accomplishments in Parliament this morning. Now, Corvell Pyfrom was outside the House of Assembly and filed this report.
Outside the House of Assembly this morning, members from Team Bahamas Aquatics and Track and Field gathered under a tent in Rawson Square. The team's too big to all fit in the lower chamber. That's okay, though. There was lots of recognition to be had for our young athletes still basking in the glow of their record-breaking, thrilling performances at the recent Carifta Games in Trinidad.
It feels great to be celebrated like this because last year, it wasn't really celebrated like this, so I'm glad that they're doing this.
It's really good. It's a little bit, you're a bit nervous sometimes, but overall it's a great feeling.
Dakari Cooper from Aquatics, a student at Bishop Michael Eldon in Grand Bahama, was still nursing a broken leg just 3 months before a competition got underway. By the time he got in the water, there were no signs of his recent setback.
It's amazing for me experiencing it, meeting new people, new competition, and just the experience overall.
Logan Camacho is one of the youngest and at a whopping 4 feet 11, also one of our smallest Carifta squad members. But we will be talking about him for a long time to come.
It was tough. I was kind of nervous, but when I got in the marshalling room, I knew I just had to stay focused and I would get a good time.
Mom Ashley says all of these athletes are deserving of celebrating.
The dedication, the commitment to their crafts, and they give their all. It's blood, sweat, and tears in the pool, on the track, and I'm just proud of every one of them.
And may the celebrating of Team Bahamas continue. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Corvell Pyfrom.
Thanks, Corvell, and the athletes as well as coaches not leaving empty-handed. Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Bolag.
I want to thank For Life for always being a decent and supporting corporate sponsor to the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. Madam Speaker, Alive has agreed to give each medalist representing Team Bahamas, whether it's aquatics or track and field, a phone device, athletes, a phone device complimentary with 1 month service package that you will be able to talk and WhatsApp till Jesus come. Now, I forget to mention now, I almost forget this, but athletes, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture would provide every one of you who was a part, the whole 120 athletes, with a gift certificate from John Bull. So you can go to John Bull, get to them. But another gratitude extended beyond the track. The coaches, trainers, and medical teams, the backbone of every performance, will be honored with a well-deserved, this is for the coaches and the managers now, with a well-deserved day pass to Breezes Resort, which is just a small gesture for them to get together and celebrate themselves and reminisce on the days of past and the good days to come.
After helping the Sunland Baptist Academy Stingers to establish themselves as one of the top high school basketball teams in the country, Grand Union players Jason Williams and Jermaine Woodside are now headed to college on athletic scholarships. At a press conference earlier this week, both players in front of their family, friends, and coaching staff signed their letters of intent for Spoon River Community College in Canton, Illinois, as they prepare to play during the upcoming collegiate season. Woodson, a 5'11" guard, served as Stingers captain, having played for the past 3 seasons, while Williams, a 6'8" forward, was only with the program for a year before signing with his new school. Of course, the pair coached by our very own Jay Philippe. Bahamian baseball superstar Jazz Chisholm Jr. missing out on the New York Yankees home run fiesta yesterday in their matchup with the Baltimore Orioles. Chisholm winced after fouling off a first pitch delivery by Orioles starter Kyle Gibson, was briefly attended to by an athletic trainer before resuming his time at the plate. 2 pitches later, he would lash a double down the right field line and reach third base. Jazz would ultimately exit the game, though, with some discomfort, and spoke about it post-game.
Just no time to risk it. You know, it's April. We still got a lot of baseball left. I'd rather take two to 3 days off than six weeks, you know. So, I mean, I think it was a smart idea. I trust my coaches. I trust everybody else, everyone in here. So if they tell me to just come out and go get it checked on, that's what I'm going to do.
That's my look at your sports on this Wednesday. A check on weather when we return.
Congratulations to the Bahamian Carifta track and field and swim teams from the sponsors of the ZNS Radio and TV Carifta Update.
Here at Immigration Care Service, you can trust us, especially if you have experienced issues or problems with the U.S. immigration at the borders. We'll do our best to provide options and solutions to immigration roadblocks so travelers can continue visiting the U.S. and residents can continue living their lives in the U.S. without worries. The best part? Our services are affordable and accessible. Take the mystery, confusion, and fear out of your immigration concerns. Contact Immigration Care Service today.
It's time now for a weather check with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Royston. High pressure will remain the dominant feature of our weather, at least for the next 24 hours. And then we're going to have a low-level trough move into the area over the weekend, and that will facilitate some showers over the weekend and the early part of next week. But you can anticipate a decrease in the winds tomorrow, so boating conditions should become a bit more favorable over the next couple of days. And your temperatures around the islands, 72 degrees in Marshall, Babaco, Great Toll, Key, and Freeport, Grand Bahama at 73, 74 in the Berry Islands. Allenstown, Bimini on the warm side is 77 degrees, 76 in Fresh Creek, Central Andros, Kemp, Spaceout Andros, and also in Black Point, Exuma, Artisan, Kid Island, 74 degrees there. 74 is also in San Salvador and Rumkey. Georgetown, Exuma, 77, 76 in Ragged Island, Clarence, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, McDonough, 75. Ackland's also reporting 75 degrees. Matthewtown and Agua, 78, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 77 degrees. Satellite pictures are showing clear skies throughout the 700 islands, and that's because we have that subsidence as a result of that high pressure sitting across the area. And your forecast tonight, we're looking at mainly clear, still a bit breezy, but those winds, as we told you, will die down as we head into tomorrow. Low temperature tonight, 71 degrees, and then tomorrow it's going to be breezy in the morning, but things will die down in the afternoon, and you will see a significant change in those wind speeds. Plenty of sunshine in the forecast, a high temperature climbing up to 81 degrees, and your extended weather forecast, beautiful weather into Friday, but come Saturday, we'll see showers, particularly in the afternoon, working its way into the forecast, and that will continue through the weekend and into the early part of next week. Monday, a bit more gray skies with scattered showers, and even an isolated thunderstorm is very possible, and that will continue into Tuesday. Thereafter, the skies will open up once again with lots of sunshine returning to the forecast, but the temperatures, not bad. We're keeping them low 80s right into Sunday, but it will peak into the mid-80s as we head into Monday of next week. And your nighttime temperatures, once again, we're keeping them nice and comfortable for you. Royston, but before I leave, I'd just like to extend a happy birthday to a very good friend of mine, Johnny Moon Atcher, who celebrates his birthday today. So on behalf of his Dalton family, the Atcher family, we wish him a wonderful day. Royston.
Excellent. Considering that summer is soon approaching, no complaints about this weather we're currently having. Well, that's going to do it for the Bahamas tonight at 11. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. Thank you for watching, and as always, good night.
At Tonic Williams Darling Highway, I'm Tajaro Hudson. This is ZNS.